It's Google's way of answering the question what you've searched and you've put into the search engine. And with that, it gives you the answers without even clicking on a website.
Welcome to Fuzzled, from confusion to clarity in digital marketing. I'm Paul Culshaw, and I want to open your eyes to clear, simple digital marketing ideas that can help to grow your business. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by marketing jargon or unsure where to start, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll break down one topic in just 10 minutes. No fluff, no fuss, just clarity. Okay, let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to Fuzzled. I'm your host, Paul Culshaw, and today we're getting stuck into a topic that trips up so many entrepreneurs and small business owners: SEO, also known as search engine optimization, and also known, if you're in the know, as the big daddy of digital marketing. So to help us, I'm joined by Phil Beaumont, a freelancer specializing in SEO and Google Ads. Phil helps businesses get found online to turn search traffic into real leads and conversions. He's got over 5 years of freelancing experience, holds an MSc in digital marketing communications, and is a certified Google partner. If SEO feels overwhelming, techie, or like something other people do, this one is for you, my friend. We're going to strip it right back, make it practical, and show you that SEO is something that you can definitely do, even if you're running the show solo. So let's get into it and see Phil in the big breakdown. Hey Phil, welcome to the Fuzzled podcast.
Hey Paul, yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. It's my first podcast, so I'm really going to enjoy this. I've seen a couple of your podcasts before, so yeah, really looking forward to getting into some of the questions what you might throw at me.
It's great for you to join us, Phil, because I find that SEO is the one topic within marketing that really confuses people. So it's one of the best topics we can cover here, where we're taking people from confusion to clarity. And I know we've got a lot to cover with SEO because it is a big topic, and we can talk about maybe other elements of SEO in a future episode, perhaps. But today we're going to talk more about the basics to help people get that foundational understanding. So as I say, SEO can feel overwhelming for someone starting a business. Where do you think they should begin?
Yeah, I think just the name SEO is very confusing, quite a scary kind of word to get into. And if you're starting a business, I think you shouldn't really focus too much on your time in SEO as like over technical. You think about technical SEO, off-page SEO, all these complicated things, on-page SEO. I think what I'd start with is just understand your business and who is your ideal customer, what they're searching for, and what questions are they choosing to find you. And I think as a business owner, obviously you start in business, so you've got some expertise in your field. So you kind of know who your customer is. You kind of know what they're searching for and what the problems are. So I'll just write around what the customer problems are and answer those questions. So I'll do that first just to get an understanding. And that can be fed into your content on your website. So you can create content that answers customers' questions and their problems. I think that's probably the best thing to start. It's just to understand your audience and know who they are first. And I think that's a good start to begin. Even though you're not doing SEO, you are in the web because that's what SEO is about, just to understand your customer and write content around that customer.
I think knowing your customer isn't something that's intrinsic to SEO. It's something that you do across any marketing channel. Yeah, so it's something intrinsic there. The main thing you start with, absolutely, with my own clients, is about understanding who your ideal client is. So you can start to then understand their intent, what they're interested in, their pain points.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, because if you understand the pain points, then you can create like a homepage around what you do and how you can answer some of those pain points as well. And that's all your words, all your keywords there as well. And also when you build out your services or product pages, then you can talk about your main offering, what you do as a business and how that can help the customer. And also set up an FAQ page. Obviously, you're the expert. The customers are asking these questions. You can answer them in an FAQ page. And then that's your SEO, because people are searching for those questions online and you're answering them. And you answer them to your ideal customers. Don't overcomplicate things. You know, you're the expert. Write down this on your website, your questions and the answers, what the customer's searching for. And that then should lead into you naturally doing SEO anyway, without getting too complex about it.
So I think that's going to help people in terms of maybe not thinking of SEO as being something on its own, in the corner that only techie people do. If you're doing your ideal client work, as Phil's saying there, you are doing an element of SEO. So this isn't about thinking that SEO is something that is really specialist. What we're talking about there is really about doing good marketing.
Sure.
So in terms of some simple wins then, what are some simple SEO wins that don't take a lot of time so people can make a start maybe after this podcast episode or plan it in for the next few days or weeks?
Yeah, I think probably the easiest wins is the content when you create is just making sure that you have the keywords in there. So again, this is quite simple. You can use free tools. There's free tools out there, such as Ahrefs, I think, have a free tool where you can do keyword research. And there's Google Ads Keyword Planner. I know it's Google Ads, but they do provide a free keyword planner what you can use. So it's about just using keyword research and just typing in some of the keywords around your business, and this will help understand some of those search volumes. So that won't take too much time. And I think then it's, again, putting those keywords in content. So the way you add your content into your website, make sure the keywords are in there, whether that's in your headings, so in your H1s, and the way you structure your content as well. I think this is all quick wins and easy to do. So you've got your heading 1, your main header, your content, and heading 2. The way you structure it is a good method to improve your SEO as well.
Yeah, and I think the structure that you're talking about there is really about good formatting.
Yeah.
Really. So it's about having a main headline. If you do have a website, you might have seen in your website platform, whether it's WordPress or Wix or something else, you might have seen maybe techie terms like H1, H2.
Yeah.
That's header 1 and header 2, isn't it, Phil? So that's about having good formatting, of having the header 1 at the start and then having header 2 and more text.
Yeah.
So it's easier to read for people. But do you think those headers or those H1s and H2s actually make it easier for search engines to understand the content?
I think so, yeah. I think, especially now with AI and AI overviews, that looks at the structure of the way the page is. And I think that's more important than ever to get your structure right on the content on your website. So that'll definitely help with SEO and the way things are being picked up. And also adding internal links, focus on your keywords by adding links to them and then focus out onto and link to other pages on your site, whether that's your blog or your services page, your contact page. Just making sure your internal links are on the site, because that's free to do as well, and it's easy to manage and obviously control, and it shouldn't take too long to do.
Yeah, so it makes your website easier to navigate.
Yeah.
And easier to use, so easier to find information on your site. So I just wanted to go back to one of the strange terms that you mentioned a few moments ago when we were talking about some of the first things that people can do, and one of them was keyword research, as you mentioned. And you mentioned a tool which has a strange name, I know, and a lot of people might not be familiar with it, which is called Ahrefs.
Yes.
We might put it in the show notes so you can see the spelling of that. So with Ahrefs, you said there was a free keyword research tool, so that's what it absolutely is. So I know you can Google Ahrefs free keyword tool, and it's usually comes up right at the top. So with those keyword tools, how do you use them, and how do you know what people are actually searching for?
Yeah, the actual keyword research tool, when you write in your keywords what you want to research, it should tell you the volumes of those keywords, of how much people are searching for each month. Say, for example, they might have 500 searches a month, and Ahrefs will tell you this information as well. And also, they'll have like a difficulty score. So if it's, say, 90 out of 100, that shows that the keyword difficulty is very high. So it might be difficult to rank for that keyword. So these are the things you can start to look at and start to get some information on about what keywords you should add in your content, because you might see some opportunities there where you might see, actually, this keyword has a high volume or a middle volume in terms of they might have 100 or 150 volumes each month of searches, and the keyword difficulty might be quite low. So there might be an opportunity there and some keywords you can add into your content that you never really thought about. So it's a really good opportunity.
Yeah, it kind of came to my mind there that if a keyword has lots of searches every month, where you talk about volume, so a lot of people are searching for this particular keyword every month, it's probably got quite a high difficulty scoring.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are searching for it every month. So a lot of people will want a slice of that traffic. So it's about getting the balance of what you describe as those opportunities, where the the keyword has some search volume, but the keyword difficulty isn't so high. Yeah, it's possible to actually show up in Google for those terms.
Yeah, and I remember going back a long time now, but it's still relevant today where you do keyword research and sometimes you're going to look for longer keywords and questions what people may have. These usually have more opportunities, less difficult to rank for. And so again, it's just looking at answering those questions.
Sure, yeah, because we find that the keywords which are easier to show up for in Google search are those longer terms. They have more context to them, which tend to be questions, as you're saying. So that goes back to your eyes, your client work on knowing your audience, which we were talking about a moment ago. It's about knowing what are the questions that your audience are actively searching for on Google.
Yeah.
So that's what you're mentioning there in terms of then going to the keyword research tools to find those questions and then answering those questions on your FAQ page.
Yeah, it all helps because you can be confident in that. People are searching for that keyword and you're writing around it, you're not guessing. You've got a bit of data to support your content and you've got an opportunity there to rank for that keyword and the search volumes behind it.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to me. I hope it makes a lot of sense to people listening as well, because it's about using data there. So it's data-driven content at the end of the day. So you're not assuming that your client wants to know something. You're actually delving in and taking time to research what they want to know and then answering the questions.
You can also obviously use Ahrefs for free, but you can even start using some of the data from Ahrefs, some of the keyword volume data, and start adding those keywords into ChatGPT. That'll give you some more ideas around what keywords to target. Even though they might not show you the volumes in ChatGPT, it'll definitely build out topics around that keyword, what you can use as well in your content.
Yeah, so that's a great tool, isn't it, to use ChatGPT in this manner in terms of gaining more keywords. So you can use those 3 keyword research tools and you could then put those keywords into ChatGPT. Is that what you're saying? Or do you think people could bypass the keyword research tools because they might think they're too SEO specific or just for SEO experts? Maybe they don't understand fully how to use them. Could people just go straight into ChatGPT or maybe Google Gemini and say, these are the types of keywords I'd like to show up for in Google search? Can you suggest some related ones?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. So let's give you some ideas around some keywords and some topics around that keyword. But I always just use a tool first, like Google Keyword Planner or Ahrefs, just to get the difficulty score and the volumes. From then, you can be sure that the data is there, and then add that into ChatGPT, and then you can build around some other keyword topics around that main keyword, what you found on Ahrefs.
Yeah, so that's the full way of doing it, isn't it? And we should do what Phil is saying there, because Phil is the expert on this. So we don't want to be bypassing the keyword research tools because they give you the metrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're using ChatGPT for keyword research, you're not gaining those metrics of how many people search for keywords, how difficult it is to show up for these terms. So again, you might get some ideas of keywords or questions, but they're not backed up by the data. You're still assuming.
Yeah. That's what I would do my keyword research and build out the content starting from that.
Okay. So another area of content on websites specifically is blogging. Do you think that blogging is still worth it in terms of SEO in 2025?
Definitely. When I first got into SEO, one of the main ways to drive traffic was through blogging. Looking at your website, looking at the different content opportunities, content gaps, and then filling that content gap up with a blog. So you spot an opportunity there, you're creating content, and then you're filling it using the blog section to drive more traffic. And usually it is informational content, usually on the blog, so what people are searching for. And it's still relevant today. I feel like a lot more people are using ChatGPT and other AI tools to answer informational questions and get that content from ChatGPT. But I still think it is relevant because obviously Google is still a massive, massive search engine, and still people will search for informational content online. So I still think definitely you need to do that in 2025 to still drive traffic to your website.
I'm so glad you've said that because it's exactly what I do. So we've got the Fuzzled podcast here. We've also got the Fuzzled Marketing Clarity blog as well. So absolutely, I think it's still something worth doing, especially if you're a writer And this is something I've talked about in previous podcast episodes about creating a strategy that suits you. So some people like to do video content, some people like to write.
And the thing like with blogs and on your website, you can do so much more than written text, can't you? You can add infographics, you can do videos, you can have forms or calculators on there as well built in, depending on who your audience is. And there's so much more things you can do with a blog and the information on there than you could get from, say, an AI tool or ChatGPT.
Definitely. So adding those, was it videos and calculators and little tools as well? And infographics, absolutely. Or just images. Really to liven up the blog post.
Yeah.
Do you think those are all elements as well that can help a blog post to rank higher in Google search?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you've got interesting bits of content on there and it's just not walls of text, obviously the user who goes on that page will probably show more interest, will stay longer on the page, might watch the video if it's embedded on there as well. So all this does help in terms of how long the user stays on the site, sends good signals to Google that the content is interesting, the customers, the audience is engaged in it. So all these little signals as well do help with your SEO.
Yeah, I guess someone could write the initial blog post, which could be text, but then add to it over time. Because it sounds like quite a big project, which you were taken on. So you could add over time maybe a video, or an infographic, or just a graphic that you create in Canva. So you're improving each blog post over time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Don't get too overwhelmed thinking you have to do a lot at once. I mean, it's a gradual process.
That would be quite a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it is.
All in one day. Especially if you have to do a blog post every day. But it's something to embrace what I like to call continual improvement. On your site and on your page.
Definitely, that's another important aspect of SEO. Yeah, it's just one of those things where you just need to continually improve and build upon.
So I think what you're alluding to there, especially with those blog posts, which have got so much information in there, at the end of the day, do you think it just comes down to good marketing or good content marketing?
I think so, yeah. Content marketing is still massive. I mean, in terms of SEO, that does help all the stuff what you do away from your website, such as posting content on different social media channels and building up a brand yourself. All that helps with SEO indirectly, because obviously if you're doing loads of content marketing and people see your visibility on, say, on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, that's in the back of their mind. So they probably might do a search for, say, Paul Culshaw podcast or something like that. And then you will show up because all the content what you've done on Facebook or on Instagram, that all leads to SEO because you're getting clicks to your site. So yeah, it definitely helps.
Great. So a final question for you, Phil, is what's one common SEO myth or mistake you see new business owners making?
I think the main thing what I see is if you get a new business or if you get a new website and it's starting from scratch, you expect traffic just to come to your site, and it's never the case. You think you got your website, SEO, I've SEO'd it, I've done all my content, I've made my homepage, I've created my services page, I've added a couple of blogs, but it's just much more to do than that. It's a continuous process, and I think it can become frustrating that obviously traffic's not coming to your site straight away, but it's a long game with SEO, and we've all been there. I remember you create your website and you're Googling every day your keyword that you want to appear for, and you're nowhere near where you need to be. And it's just a long game. Keep on posting content online, on blogs, on your website. Also, all your off-page, what we touched on earlier about, it's all about creating a brand for yourself. Social media is just as important as your website, and having a content plan or content marketing plan that creates visibility away from your site to build your brand will just naturally help with your SEO. So yeah, the common myth is that once you've got your website and you've done the SEO basics, traffic won't just come. You've done all the good stuff, the foundations are there, and it's just important to build upon that.
So the lesson there is to manage expectations.
Yeah, manage expectations, Yeah.
So when you say that it's the long game, my mindset on that is that your business is a long game as well. So you're not looking to create a business for just 3 months.
100%.
And expect to earn millions in that time. You're in your business for long term. So throughout the lifetime of your business, you'd want to naturally invest in SEO and content marketing and social media as your business grows.
And also, you can even add some paid search behind it or some paid ads behind it. Even though doing like Google Ads doesn't help your SEO directly, indirectly it might do. because if people are searching for those keywords and you come up on a paid ad, they might later then come back again and do a search relating to that term, and your organic listing might come up. All these different channels and different ways you can promote yourself can all have a long-term impact on your website, but also on your brand as well.
Yeah, so it's all attributed, isn't it? So
yeah,
what I like to call it is a multi-layered visibility strategy.
Yeah,
so you're basically everywhere. And that's not something you can do at once. Again, that's something you build across the lifetime of your business. You add in more channels or more social platforms. It's all about being seen in different places. And definitely what you're saying there in terms of paid advertising or Google ads can definitely boost your traffic to your site. So Google ads or paid search is something a bit different to SEO. But at the end of the day, do you think Google search results are just Google search results for your everyday person? They don't really know the distinction between the paid ad on Google and what's there in terms of SEO activity.
Yeah, it's so tricky now to spot in the Google search of what the difference of a sponsored post is and also which is organic. I think if you do a search, some people might not know and might click on the paid without knowing and click on the organic results without knowing. And now you've even got the more complex of the AI overviews as well now. So that's another thing. What's been in the search engines now for the last few years, which is another thing that people will see and might not know what it is either.
It's definitely a growing ecosystem, isn't it? So you've got your organic results, which come from SEO activity, your paid search or your Google ads. As you say, you've then got AI overviews in Google. So thanks for answering all those questions, Phil. I think we've got more clarity around SEO and definitely where to start. But now we're going to move on to the section of the show, which we like to call Buzzword Bingo. Okay, so it's time for Buzzword Bingo. And Phil, you've picked a pretty modern buzzword, which is GEO. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so GEO is Generative Engine Optimization, and it's around creating content which will get into AI overviews in Google. So as we touched on earlier, now when you do a search, especially for some searches, you'll see at the top is AI overviews. It's Google's way of answering the question what you've searched and you've put into the search engine. And with that, it gives you the answers without even clicking on a website. So it's all visible there. So that's generative engine optimization or generative AI overviews. If that's all it is, it's the AI overview section, what's coming to Google the last couple of years. You can get your content up there by doing certain things. I say doing by certain things, it's just basically still doing SEO, what you would do, because SEO it's all related, and it's still doing the basic things, what you would do in SEO, the core values of SEO. And if you do those things right, you've got more opportunities to get into the AI overview section. Because like we mentioned, it's all about trust with Google. If Google trusts your site and you're doing good things on Google, you trust your brand, you've got more opportunities to get into the AI overview section as well.
I found the information that is populated in the AI overviews tends to come from either blog posts or articles. So again, does this go back to the point which we talked about a moment ago in terms of is it still worth doing blog posts in 2025? The evidence to me says, absolutely it is, because the AI overviews are taking its information from articles or blog posts.
Yeah, 100%. Your brand is still visible there in the AI overview section, so you'll get like a little link where you can click through to your blog of where they're getting that information from Google, and you're still getting that visibility there, which is obviously great. That's what you want. It's just like we mentioned before, it might be a bit hard to attribute and ways to measure AI overviews at the moment, because I don't think there's a way to track it that I know of, because obviously it's just viewing eyeballs on the search engine. So if the people do read that content and not click anywhere, have they read your content or not? It is difficult to measure, but at the same time, it's important to be in that section, in the AI overview section, because your brand's there, so people will take note of your brand as well.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's more about 0 clicks on Google. So people are actually getting the information from Google, and Google is getting the information from publishers at the end of the day. So to me, what you could track there is, are people viewing the Google AI overview, but then are they then clicking onto your site, which is populating the AI overview? Yeah. So with GEO then, if you're wondering, well, how do I get into those AI overviews, which are now appearing at the top of Google search? It's all about GEO. Yeah. So in terms of the buzzword there, that's what GEO is all about. Okay, so let's move on then to the next section of the show, which we're calling What Would Phil Do? So, Phil, if you were starting from scratch today with SEO, no audience, no fancy website, what would you do?
If I was just starting out, I had no website or just starting out, say, as a freelancer in SEO, I wouldn't spend like an absolute fortune on a website. Just get a basic, simple website and just start off with that. What I did when I first started freelancing, I decided to go with a brand instead of like my own personal name. I bought into a brand because my view was to build that brand over time. I look now, it might be the right way to go now after 5 years, but if I was beginning again, I'll just start off with my personal name as my website, say philbeaumont.com, and then build my brand up there. And also I would do a lot more on the marketing side. When I first started freelancing, I wish I spent a lot more on the marketing side than I mean by posting on social media channels such as LinkedIn, which is where my audience is. So I just focus on where your audience is and try and build up and do some more marketing there straight away. I think I've taken too long to build my audience on LinkedIn. That's what I would do straight away. I wouldn't focus too much on the site, focus building off the site first. That's what I would do. Get a name for yourself and build up your brand reputation.
So you wouldn't do so much work on the website itself, which sounds strange to anyone who thinks that SEO is just about websites and Google search. You would definitely have a website there. So
definitely have a site.
Something fundamental. But you would put most of your time into building a brand away from your website and away from Google.
Yeah, sure. I'd share my knowledge on, like, say, LinkedIn, share my knowledge on Twitter, share my knowledge on YouTube videos. I'd say it's more important for business to bring business in and bring leads in than what you would do just keep on adding blog posts to your website. Yes, it'll help you with keywords, but I believe in 2025 it's best to probably spend more time on the social media side as well, as you would do on your website, to build up that visibility offline as well, because all that does help with your brand and with SEO indirectly.
So it's all about brand building, which is what we covered with a previous episode. We had Sandra Garlick on a few episodes ago, who was an expert in personal branding. And she also said, in terms of if she was also starting out now, one of the first things she would do was get a basic website and get your personal name, domain name. That's like paulculshaw.com. And then spend a lot of time more on the socials in terms of building your personal brand and gaining that know, like, and trust factor with your audience.
I created a branded website, and I think if you create a branded website, if you're a small business or just starting out with SEO, I think creating a brand takes a longer time to build. It costs a lot more money because if you wanted to keep on marketing a brand, and it costs more money to do so, where if you've got your own main name is philbeaumont.com, it's easy to build that brand because you're that person. You naturally can do organic socials. You don't have to put loads of money in paid socials. So it's easier to market yourself, I think, and then maybe look at building a brand later on. And also when it goes down to URLs, if you're creating a new website and you've got a business name that you want to incorporate, I'd create a URL, a domain with like what you actually do in the URL. So if you're saying you're a gardener, put like gardening in the URL because you've got more chance to rank for that search term because it's in the URL. That's what I looked into. So I'd do that as well.
Yeah. So that's about providing more context. All the time. Yes, that's a nice idea because when you're going to share that URL, if you share that link in an email with someone perhaps, and it has no context around it, the context is in the URL itself, so you're confident in terms of where that link is going to lead to. Imagine
how much www.seo.com would be. Imagine getting that.
Well, I think everyone's going to have a look now. On the domain site.
If you had that and you got that from the beginning when the web first kind of came out, you probably would rank number one for SEO because you got SEO in your all around in that top section anyway.
You're going to poke in a pain point for me here, Phil, because I moved to Manchester, and when online was all starting out in 1997, I wish I'd bought domains like seo.co.uk. Back then, but you can't foresee the future too much.
No, look at just touched on that. I ended up buying last year philbeaumont.com, which was available and for really cheap as well. So I'm glad I got that.
I'm glad you got it as well in the end. Okay, let's move on then. Thanks for talking us through the steps that you would take, Phil. And it's great to know that we're focusing more on personal branding now, because people want to know who the real experts are, and all the algorithms are trying to work out who the real experts are in the real world. So it's all about building your personal brand. Okay, so let's move on to the final section of the show, which is marketing fails and holy moly moments. So Phil, you shared with me that you once had a post on LinkedIn and it took off really unexpectedly. So I think this is going to be more of a holy moly moment rather than a marketing fail. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. So over the past, say, year, I've been touching on about building your brand offline. And I've been trying to build my presence on LinkedIn by trying to post 5 days a week, consistently, semi-consistently over the past, say, 12 months. Obviously, when you first start posting online, you get 1 or 2 likes and lucky if you get a comment. And as time's gone on, say, the last couple of months, I've been getting a bit more, say, 10 likes, a couple of comments. And a couple of weeks ago, I posted about a personal experience that I've had in the past around the topic micromanagement and how harmful it can be around creativity and how harmful it can be about the working relationship together in a company or on a project that you do. And unexpectedly, this post took off massively. I got over 100,000 impressions, which is a lot, considering I've only got around 2,000 followers or connections, and that's a very small amount in ratio of that. 100,000 impressions. I got 1,616 engagements, so likes or that type of thing. 136 comments and 12 reposts. So it just shows that just keep on consistently posting and something will come eventually and take off like that. I wasn't expecting it because it wasn't really around SEO, what I usually talk around. It was talking around just a general what everyone probably has experience about micromanagers and how harmful it can be to the working relationship. And that was like the holy moly moment where I thought, wow, after 12 months of posting continuously, something actually has paid off.
It's always great. So that's something that our listeners would really relate to as well. So entrepreneurs, small business owners listening to this podcast, if we talk about micromanagement, it's probably a bit of a pain point. I don't want to go back to micromanagement in the corporate world again.
No.
So I can see how it went down well with a lot of people, especially on LinkedIn as well. So there's going to be a lot of people who relate to micromanagement. Yeah,
one way it was the post in itself, the context of the post, and also just building up that consistency over time of trying to post each day.
It's that organic snowball effect, isn't it? Posting consistently, it all adds up every week, every month.
Definitely.
Over the years. That's a great holy moly moment, indeed, when you start to see so much engagement on your page.
And I didn't mention that even though it wasn't an SEO post, I got a couple of inboxes from a couple of people asking about some work, what I could do with SEO. So I got a couple of leads, 2 leads. So it does definitely help with bringing in some lead generation as well.
Yeah, that shows. It's all about having conversations and creating content that resonates with lots of people, and the more people the better, because then you're more likely to get a few people then who are able to go through your marketing funnel, which we've talked about in previous episodes, in terms of them then contacting you about your actual service that you do offer. So that's a great example of how content can really work for you and then turn into sales. Okay, Phil, thank you so much for making SEO feel a lot more accessible for us in this episode. So before we go, how can listeners get in touch to work with you?
You can visit my LinkedIn profile. If you type in Phil Beaumont, I should appear there. But also you can look at my website, swaydigital.co.uk. And on there, you can book a free online SEO consultation. So you can just book on the link at the top and you'll take me through to a page where you can book in and get a free consultation, which I'm happy to do.
Thanks for sharing that. So if you're interested in gaining a free online SEO consultation with Phil, we'll put the details in the show notes with all of the links for you. And if you're listening and feeling inspired to get more visible, don't forget to grab my social media prompts. Again, they're going to be in the show notes to help you become more visible and more consistent with your content. And do join us as well in Success Academy, which is my marketing mastery membership. Again, check out the show notes for all the links. So that's it for this episode of Fuzzled. Thanks again, Phil, for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you again in a future episode. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Fuzzled, from confusion to clarity in digital marketing. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe and share. It really helps content creators like me reach more people. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, check out my Digital Success Academy. It's packed with step-by-step video trainings, templates and tools to help you grow your business with confidence. You'll find all the details at paulculshaw.com. See you next time, and remember, clarity beats confusion every time.